It's starting. It is starting. Got the top half here, bottom half here. I was gonna put it up on this table, but this is like 120 pounds, so I don't want to throw my back out. So, yep, this is the start of a very exciting project. I want to rewire the entire bottom portion, basically all the wire going from, all the line voltage going from the radio to the record player to the television. I want to redo all that wire. God, this thing is so gorgeous. I'll never get over it. Okay. Well, hopefully this video is posted because this is the start to a very long project. All these crumbling wires need to go. These are all the, this is all the line voltage connectors that all go to this big power transformer right here. Yeah. The radio. And then the Magnavox chassis, which is going to be very difficult to get out of here. It was retrofitted very well, but not too much for repairability, I guess. I mean, they did add this slide here to slide out so you could work on under the chassis. But I think I need to completely take this out and rewire it. Replace all the capacitors, clean the tubes, tube sockets, and then just make sure everything's good to go in here. This is going to be a process. And thank God that this transformer's in here. All right, I'm actually gonna take out the radio portion first. This piece right here came off easily, so we can just pull this out. I didn't realize this when I looked back here, but it looks like it has a 125 volt setting. So you have 110 to 125 volt, needs a 1 amp fuse, and then for 220, 150, 240, need a 0.4 amp fuse. Cool. That's very nice to know that that can be off of 120. So we're gonna take out the radio. Here it is, and then these controls, these sort of base controls, treble controls, stay in here. They just disconnect from the chassis. What's that? Oh, it looks like the dial string came undone. Okay. Well, whoa, actually, it's still going, so I don't know what that is. But I think taking out this radio portion will just free up the cabinet. There's a bunch of rat shit back there. So the rats were in here. When I picked this up from Indiana, there was so much rat feces in here. So I assume they had their own little home in here. I don't know. I mean, this was located in the living room, so I don't know really how bad the rat situation was when you have this as a collector's item. Okay, let's get this radio out, and then I think it'll be easier to take the television portion out because the tuner up there looks like it cannot be disconnected from the chassis, so I really don't know how they put this together. But we'll figure that out. There we go. Now you can really see all the rat droppings. All right, gotta get that out of there. And then see what's going on with this TV side. Okay. Radio looks good underneath. Sorry, there's not too much light. But yeah, variable, I mean, I'm sure it's not called a variable transformer, but variable transformer. God, this is a nice radio. There is a broken string right here. I need to look up the schematic and see the wiring diagram for it, if it has one. I'm not too familiar with European radios. Look at that antenna. How cool is that? And then you have the little red thing going around. Wow, that's super neat. Okay, I took out all the wiring here. I'm gonna rewire the line voltage. I took the transformer over here, vacuumed it off. It had some dust on it. Put in just a temporary cloth cable that would actually be plugged into the wall. I'm getting 100 and around 17 volts here. And for the other connection, I can just put in another wire there. Also, there is, I think these two are 117 if I hook those in. And then these two right here equal around 220, something like that. But yeah, thank God this transformer's in there. This thing is a super beast. So I guess we're gonna have the transformer for the record player portion. I'll take the record player out eventually. There's just a ton of wires in here that I don't really know what they do. Like this one goes to like, I don't even know what this purpose is. There's nothing on the other side. And then these connectors just go up here to nothing. So I don't know if that was part of the original and the person who was in here before just took it out of commission. I don't know. But for the record player, we have the power cable, and then we have the banana plugs that hook into the radio, which then go to the speakers eventually. So I feel like there's a lot of these just little, not gimmicks, but just a lot of wiring that doesn't need to be in here. So I'm trying to clean it up and just have it look as best as I can. You know, here's the high voltage cable that goes to the picture tube. Yeah. Yikes. Yeah, I have a lot of options here. Here's the picture tube connector, and then the extender for it is in the top of that. I probably will make a new one just because the wires are getting a little crumbly. All right, we're really gonna see how serviceable they made this. Looks like everything plugs right into the chassis, which is nice. I'm just really mapping out where everything is supposed to go back to. Okay, is that it? I think I can pull it out now. I think we are good. Okay, never mind. I'm not taking this out. This is cool. I mean, the thing going up here, I can take out, but basically what this thing is when you close it, it cuts the AC power. And then that's when it turns on. When you actually pull it out, and then when you push it back in, it cuts the power to it. That's really cool. I'm gonna get rid of these wires, but I'm gonna keep this receptacle here. Probably put in new wires for it and see Well, it was actually... These wires actually aren't connected, so I don't know what this was doing. I think this has been out of commission. Because these wires go up here and then they don't connect. So this already just doesn't work. Okay, I just put that hinge back on, which was very difficult. Basically, it was just sliding along here. I had to push it there and then put in 2 screws there and just manually twist them. That was tough. But now it's the same as the other side. Let's see. There you go. Hard to see, but there it is. I also wired this record player back temporarily, so basically 120 volt goes here. These are connected, but I broke the chain with this thing, so when it slides forward, it still turns on. Now the chain's broken. Those touching turns it on, so when you pull it out, record player turns on. I'm probably going to replace these wires, but this is just temporary. Clean the cables in here. Yeah, I mean, this set, when you really put your head in it, it does smell like rat piss. So I was scraping up back there with sort of a paint scraper to get it all up. Gonna do some light sanding in here just to get it all clean again, but that's where I'm at right now. Here's a schematic. Got the schematic for it on eBay. It is a 1959 Magnavox. There's a number here on the chassis, V290800. Let's see, V2901 through 09. So that is this chassis. I guess this chassis was in a ton of different models. So I guess the company the original owner took it to said, yeah, I want an American chassis in here so I can watch TV. So they retrofitted it with a 1959, so it's period correct, which is nice. And you can tell here, this is the chassis. We got the Yolk connector right here, and then this audio, I guess this plug goes to the audio section. And then the rest seems just like a Magnavox chassis. And looks like the same on the audio output transformer right there. Those go to the speakers in the top section. And it looks like everything's just laid out here. Let's take a look at the bottom. Oh, and then the hilariously long anode cable that I do need to replace, because I don't like this. It just looks bad. Picture tube connector, and then just everything you need right here. I love it. Love it, love it. Got a bunch of waxy capacitors. Yeah, it's gonna be one hell of a recap job. Okay. Let's see if we can pop over the flyback, take a look at it. All right, I have not taken a look inside. Oh wow, that looks great. That looks really good. Some wax starting to come off of it. Looks like a little bit on the bottom. I just might put some Super Corona Dope sealant on it and just call it a day. I mean, I know the high voltage is working. Great, that looks great. Okay, so I went ahead and took out the high voltage rectifier socket. And I went ahead and just replaced the resistors on it, but I also replaced the high voltage cable. So what I'm gonna do, I ordered a high voltage connector. So what I plan on doing is keeping this one that plugs into the picture tube, and then on the bottom of this, put in a sort of the receiving end of the high voltage connector, and then put this on the other side. So the idea is when I want to disconnect the TV, I can put in the high voltage connector right up here with just some you know, cable clamps right here, and then the picture tube one will come down here. It'll just be right here, and then the one going from the chassis will just plug right into there, and then if I ever need to take the TV portion out, I can just disconnect it from there, so I don't have to pull it down from the TV from the top portion every time and then have to reconnect it by taking off the speakers and all that nonsense. So this will be a nice not workaround, but a better system. Because I was originally going to take this one off, take this anode cap off, but it doesn't look like there's an easy way to do it. So I'm just going to keep this as is. It works. It has good continuity. And then this one, plug into the picture tube. Hopefully it'll make it all the way down into the second chassis. If it doesn't, well, let's just not go there yet. So we're going to put this back in to the socket. And this is just going to hang down for now. But I wanted to go ahead and just get the high voltage cable out of the way, replace the resistors under there, even though I'm sure they're fine, but I just want to get all the dust out from the high voltage section. This chassis is very clean. I don't think it got many hours on it. I remember the original owner, or I remember the son of the owner telling me, he was like, yeah, when he was growing up, his dad maybe turned this TV on maybe twice, from what he remembers. So, you know, excellent news for us. All right, mail day. We got some power cable wire, I think it's 50 feet. So we can string that along here for the TV, for the record player, and for the radio from the transformer. We got some cable clips, and then we have some, I guess, connectors here, some ceramic connectors. So I'm still running through my head how I want to wire this up, because the radio and the TV will go off 120, record player off of 220. All right, so I got the cable dividers in here. So we got the one for the record player, one for the TV, one for the radio over here. So I got the first cable here for the record player. Let's go ahead and put this in correctly. So actually this record player is off of 240 volts, which is what the transformer is tapped at, 240, and it was working before. So, dang, all right, cool. That worked out nice. All right, here we go. We got our line voltage taps. We got our 240 here. We got 120 here. Coming down, and then we got the big old power transformer. We got 240 and then 120 there. And then for the radio, I believe there is, I'm trying to think of what it was, which taps it was. I might have to double up on taps or put in a wire back here, and then I'm gonna put the wires through here. Maybe I don't even need this. Maybe I'll just have the radio go directly into here. I don't know, I might want to keep it clean. I'll have the radio come out here. The radio plug come out here, go into here, and then to the radio. So it's just keep it consistent. So we get the power transformer there, and then we got these nice wires just going straight to where they need to go. Okay, that's looking clean. Well, the record player works, and I guess the output on it has to go through some audio output transformer, because I'm just going directly to a speaker and I'm getting nothing. Okay, well, record player works. And I think that turns it off. Yep, power's been cut from it. Let's take a look around. Plugged in the transformer. Got this one going to the record player, And then that cuts off the voltage right there. And I looked up, this does need 240 volts AC, because it's a Telefunken. AC, we got around 258. That's a little high. But once we get this all hooked in back up to the audio output, we can see how it's sounding and see if it is getting too much voltage. But that's good right now. Okay, so got the top off, got the picture tube. Okay, 21 DLP4. That's a lot of people were asking what tube's actually in here. That's what it is. We have the Yolk connector here, which is pretty fine, but I might want to put new cables around the Yolk. And look, as you can see, cables are breaking in there, so you know, I might just rewire this whole thing, just create a completely new one. Back of the CRT connector, back of the picture tube connector. That's probably good to keep as is. Those wires look good. So I might keep that extender. This is just not great for longevity. It looks like it was baking next to a tube for a long time. That looks pretty cooked. Okay, now we got a proper high voltage cable and connector. So this is the green wire, and this is the connector port here. Oh wait, I'm stupid. It's a connector port. There's that side. There's that side. Simply plug in. Tighten it closed, and I've checked continuity. It is good. So, very solid. So actually, let me check to see if that green cable will make it down into the other chassis. Okay, yeah, that'll be more than enough space there. So it goes through, boom, right there, and then we got a lot to work with. So let's see if we have the wire, say right there. Take that measurement, that very professional measurement. Drop it down. Yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect length. So this is what I was talking about, where I basically have this high voltage port just up here, maybe over here, just so it's away from any metal. Put that to the top of the chassis, or we'll figure something out. But good, it's a good length. It's perfect. Okay, so another little addition I made. I went ahead and just put in fuses on the hot and neutral side, just to protect the transformer. You know, I'm sure doing it on both sides is a little overkill, but I like it. So we got the other side going out to where I originally had the plug. So this is 120 going in here, 120 out, and then 240 out. All right, so I'm gonna be taking the yoke off and creating a new sort of extender for it down into the bottom portion. And this is, for anyone who doesn't know, these sort of yoke protectors, just so you're not touching the back of the wires. I see them a lot on Tabletop Zenith, but they just crumble. I don't think it's asbestos, but I'm gonna wet this with a rag and then take it out, and then I can recreate these. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and remake the yoke attachment since it is looking rough. We'll go ahead and do that. So I got some, I think 18 gauge wire here, and then just sort of a cover that I can put them all through. So I can easily slip it down into the bottom portion of the chassis, portion of the cabinet. Okay, so I went ahead and replaced the two electrolytics here. This one up here, they had single wires going to 3 of them, so I just dispersed them throughout the chassis. And then for this one, I used one of the adaptacaps here, replaced the resistors on it. And you can see them popping up there. Okay. I still have a couple of wax capacitors to replace on it. But first things first, let's go ahead and remake the yoke connector. Okay. Switched up the yoke cables with all new cables. Put it through this little shrink wrap here and have it coming down to this new plug that I have, soldered them to it. So this is going to be the new plug that sinks into the bottom, and it's sort of less thick than the other cord, so this should drop down much more easily. It's more flexible, it's a little bit shorter, so it's not bunching up into the other cabinet. I'm probably going to put some type of clamp right here around this, just so these aren't spreading out so much, just to keep it clean. But no, this is good. This is a good workaround. Okay. So I took out the tuner and put it over here, along with the fine-tuning controls. Hooked them up to the chassis. Got the IF cable plugged in, yoke connector. Everything else is all good. I got a cable here that goes to my Variac isolation transformer and to my watt meter. Got the CRT grounded to the chassis. High voltage connector good. Yoke is grounded. I got a mirror down there to look at the screen. I have not hooked up the speakers. I don't need it for this. So all of the TV is completely out of the bottom section. So we're gonna give this a power up and see if we can get an image on the screen. Oh shit, yeah. Oh shit, yes, sir. Oh yeah. All right, we got a nice raster. Very nice raster. Yeah, dude. Oh man, that thing is sick. So I got the pattern generator hooked up. I'm trying to tune into a station. I think the tuner's still a little dirty, but it's like the horizontal is just way off. Where's the horizontal coil? Frequency coil? That should be it, I think. And then vertical. There we go. Yeah, this tuner needs to be cleaned. Okay, I mean, not bad. Well, not good. Yeah, it is just, that tuner is super finicky. It's like that gets it fine for at least a little bit. And then it gets all out of whack. All right, so I took some sandpaper to sort of clear off the contacts in the tuner. Took this little back plate off. And now you can see the intricacies. So I cleaned it up with some contact cleaner. All right, should be good. Yep, so I cleaned off all the contacts there. Let's hook this back up and see if we can really lock in an image here. All right, we're getting this fired back up. There we go. Man, that tuner cleaned up nice. We are getting a little bit of waviness in the picture, but that could be from the pattern generator being a very strong signal. Looks like the width is maybe too... I mean, there's some vertical adjustments I definitely need to adjust. But I think I'm gonna call it for this video, just because it might be getting a little long here. I think this is a great milestone though. I mean, that's fantastic. I think the next part of the series, I'm not taking a break from this set. I'm just making it a separate video. I'm gonna tackle the sound section right here, the speakers. And I'm going to start working on the Kuba radio. What is it? Kuba 5713. I already got the schematic for it, downloaded it. So yeah, look out for that in the coming weeks. I'm gonna get this sorted, get it back into the cabinet, make sure it's all good to go with the sound. And I'll probably tackle the record player as well in the next video. And then once all that's wrapped up, I'll do sort of like a finale to this project. Still a long ways to go. We're not close to done. This is just a huge milestone. This is so freaking cool.